Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be going over the antibiotics should be used in food animals. And this is group number 3, Animal Science 67, Section 2. And I will be presenting currently. My name is Kyra Gonzalez, with other presenters, Charlie N. Baptista and Jody C. A. Weens. And the date, April 22nd, 2021. So to start off, I'll go over the history and background of antibiotics in animals. So penicillin was first tested on mice, eventually showing that it worked on serious bacterial infection, and from there on, that's when this discovery allowed it to be used in other antibiotics in livestock of other animals. And there are 3 different types of antibiotics along with different classes that are used on animals. For instance, this drug bacitracin is in the peptide class used on beef cattle, chicken, turkey, and swine to promote egg production, while monensin in the ionophore class is used on beef cattle and sheep to promote milk production. Next, we'll go over the ethical aspects. So, antibiotics in animals helps prevent a high number of animal deaths occurring from diseases. Society is able to have an abundance of food rather than a shortage. And farm animals are kept healthy, which will equal into healthy food. And overall, bacteria is reduced, especially in the food supply, and there will be less animals getting sick, so more produce being produced for society to be able to eat. And in the pictures you can see how there's an abundance of meat for the society, such as chicken, meat, eggs, and a lot of other things. It's a little blurry, but this shows how humans are interdependent with animals and the environment. So here you can see how humans depend on animals and animals depend on humans. We each feed one another. And why antibiotic use is controversial. So the pros of antibiotics is that it helps prevent and treat disease, that animals live longer, and it helps promote animal growth. The cons of antibiotics, however, are that widespread antibiotic use has led to antibiotic resistance bacteria. So the resistant salmonella strains from chickens can be found in meat and eggs, and resistant foodborne bacteria can infect humans. So basically, resistant bacteria that are formed, it can affect humans and it can make them get sick, like really badly, and even cause death.
Hello, my name is Jody C. Weens, and I'm going to be discussing how antibiotics are used. Antibiotics are used in food animals to treat diseases as well as to prevent and/or control common disease events. Antibiotics are medications used to destroy bacteria that can be a source of disease or infection in animals, and they do this by disrupting the essential process or structures in the bacterial cells. However, it's important to note that antibiotics prevent bacteria and not viruses, as they have different structures. Unlike bacteria, viruses don't have that cell wall which can be destroyed by antibiotics. Instead, they have a protective protein coat that surrounds them. And unlike bacteria, which attacks the body cells from the outside, viruses move into the body cells and there make copies of themselves. When treating feed animals, antibiotics are usually administered either orally or they are injected into the animal, in the same way a human would take antibiotics. But usually the antibiotics are simply put into the animal's feed or into their drinking water. Antibiotics are given to animals to keep them healthy as well as to prevent harmful bacteria from entering the food supply. Zoonotic diseases are caused by germs that spread from animals to people. And because we as humans have a close connection with animals, it's important to know the ways we are able to get infected, like direct contact with bodily fluids of an animal that is sick, or eating contaminated meat, even getting bit by a bug such as a mosquito. There are also indirect ways to getting infected, such as coming into contact with places animals live, like barns or cages. There are many safeguards set to ensure that everything being done is safe, such as FDA approval and being sure that the antibiotics given to the animals are not overused, but to maintain the health of the animal. The use of antibiotics in animals can help to prevent suffering of sickness in animals, as well as infections that can occur. Animals can sometimes get sick from bacterial infections, and it is our responsibility to take care of them and maintain the animal's health.
This is Charlie Baptista, and I will be reading the next few slides. Sociological importance. Sociological is concerning the development, structure, and functioning of the human society. Humane aspects of treating animals when they are sick. When animals get sick or have infections, they need to be treated for them or it can end badly. When animals have infections or are ill, and we don't know if it's an infection or not, they can die rather quickly if not treated with the correct medication or antibiotics. These are given by a veterinarian or a trained professional on that animal agriculture operation. The same way humans take medication when they are sick or have an infection is the same way that animals need to. It is humane if we treat animals when they are sick, and it is not humane if we don't, because they could die, and we would not do that to a human in this case. Current events. In the past, there has been a lot of fight based on whether animals should be receiving antibiotics. Food-grade animals should be receiving them. But in the past couple of years, the use of antibiotics in food animals has increased back to where it used to be prior to the fight for antibiotics, because people are starting to learn that it is regulated and is done for the animal's sake of a good life. The CDC and FDA have rules and regulations for the use of medications and antibiotics, and those are always in review in order to keep the people safe in food animals. Processing plants also run tests to be sure that the meat from the animals is safe to consume for humans and to ensure that no traces of medications or antibiotics are left in the meat. Next, we have informed opinion. We support the use of antibiotics in the use of food animals. Animals can suffer from illnesses just like humans and should be able to be treated for them. We as a society are able to have an abundance of food instead of a shortage, and we're also able to have less animal deaths as a whole, which means more food, when we are able to treat these animals for the illnesses that they need to be treated for. In the figure to the right, you can see that there are chickens, cattle, pigs, and turkeys, and that is the intensity of antibiotic consumption by U.S. food animal sector. As you can see, the turkeys are the highest and chickens are the lowest. The last slide is our references that can be reviewed.